Right, welcome, guys. Hope everybody's well. It's Thursday, the 16th of July. So let's obviously have a look what's been going on during London, or London session that we've got ahead. I'm pretty happy. Had an amazing day, obviously, Monday, and yeah, we're starting to build nicely. We've got some good momentum with us, blending obviously intraday and lower time frame trades. Got obviously a gold trade just about to hit TP. I think TP is 2642, so around here. So hopefully just pops down slightly while we're on this call, but let's wait and see. Anyway, right, let's go through obviously what is happening. Let's first of all go through what happened yesterday. So we've obviously got inflation data coming out of the US is a lot cooler. We had CPI on Tuesday, we had PPI yesterday. Everything is cooler. So what does that mean? All eyes now are on Kevin Walsh because he's not under any pressure at all, at all. So obviously the expectation is a reduction of interest rates, and obviously that's why dollar got hit pretty hard. We've obviously also had some good pound data coming in this morning. Pound is a little bit behind; it needs to catch up. So let's wait and see what happens here, and then obviously quite important. There's no point in them obviously having low inflation. Remember, this is obviously June, and obviously at the end of June, your school close here. All right. Um, Obviously at the end of June, um, this whole war kicked off again, and so let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens moving into July. He's gonna be aware of this. I think markets might be a bit hefty. Um, so yeah, let's wait and see. But obviously, employment data is going to be important. Coming out of the US. All right. So let's now have a look at the dollar index. All right. It's being hit quite hard. Being hit quite hard, but I just part of me just doesn't like the idea of trying to sell it from here. If we're looking at this on a daily overall trend, we're still technically in an uptrend. This would be our movement here, something like this, movement here, coming down here. So I would say for it to blend into a downtrend, we're probably going to want to see this break, so it would probably have to be 100. 100 would have to get hit. Now, is there enough negativity around the dollar for obviously this 100 to hit? And obviously this is where we've got to make our minds up, in regards to, do we think that there is enough of a continuation here for obviously dollar to continue to, melt? We've obviously got oil still hovering around that 80. Yes, it's down 0.91% there this morning. So escalation wise, you know, um, need to obviously look into it and, see obviously what we're going to do, what we're going to kind of look at here. So yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about everything. We've obviously got oil, up and around that 80 area, making it expensive. Obviously, it's not crazy expensive like it was, but obviously, prices are starting to creep back up, and there is no real kind of sign of things cooling. So let's wait and see. But remember that, yeah, things can change at a drop of a hat. We only need one tweet from Trump saying we're actually going to have talks, and it all changes. So that's obviously one thing to be aware of. Stock market is around about break even yields. This is what is, kind of making me want to buy the dollar this morning. It's how well, yields are holding. For those of you who don't know, I mention this every single morning. Yields are the big money flowing into the dollar. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go with dollar this morning, not because of trend, um, more because I can see personally, a higher probability of price coming back into this area than I can price coming back here. We always play these probability cards, and obviously yesterday was one we got it right. Where price did drift up. All right, there was a higher probability to have it hitting 101. It hit it, but then it's then tanked to the downside here, So I was glad we kind of, stayed out yesterday afternoon. It was a bit of a swing, well, swing in the complete opposite direction. But I personally do think there's a higher probability of us reaching here than there is, us reaching down here. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of, feeling today. So moving on to that, and yeah, get your questions ready. Because I'm gonna have to end this swiftly. Um Aussie. I actually quite like Aussie. I can't really see gold pushing up that much higher. It's been hurt a bit today. We're already 0.75% down. Let's just have a look at where Asia highs here, Asia low, or lows here. So let's just have a look at this. So I'm gonna go. Where are we here? So 12, 10. Yeah. So we obviously need to have our stops above this Asia high. All right. We're actually trading here. So that's Asia high and that's the Asia low here. Yeah. All right. So that's been pretty much the complete movement. And obviously now we're trading somewhere in between here. So I would like to make sure that we're allocating a bit of enough. However, we didn't trigger yesterday. So and we obviously got everything in the right d direction. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. We did 50 and then 150. Yeah, I quite like that. So I'm going to get rid of this line. I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm not going to take the biscuit too much here. All right. Normally we'd obviously have bigger stops. I'm going to go for, let's go for a random number. Let's go for 16 and 32. All right. That's what I'm kind of allocating here. All right. Nice, small trade. I'm probably not going to bother putting a TP1 in, but if I was going to, it'd be somewhere like here. But so let me just mark these up. Mm, there we go. So we've got this one here, the red. We've got, oops, this one here. We've got this one here, and we've got this one here. Oh, I have put an extra one in, so why don't we just put that one in there? There we go. So that's what I'll be looking at for AUD USD today. All right. Now, when we only obviously also we only want to pick we only want to pick our three pairs. We don't want to pick any more. So let me just put this in. USD trade opportunity. There we go. So that is that one there. Okay, cool. Let's have a look here in regards to euro and pound, because obviously pound and euro. That's just out of interest. All right, we're gonna look at the RSI just to have a little, sneaky look at how things are obviously looking overall. I mean, it's pretty nothing scary there, so nothing scary at all. Right, again, all right, get in the habit of this. We're gonna mark up Asian high and Asian low. So if we've got, yeah, be there. So that'll be our Asian high, and our Asian low is gonna be here. Yeah. All right. And so we obviously want to be above, this to obviously allocate. If we're going to have a look at this on a daily, and we're going to have a look at pound on a daily as well. I mean, pound has moved a lot. Wow. Yesterday, pummeled. So I'm probably going to stay away from the pound. I do see it probably coming back into this area, but I'm going to stay away. I'd rather trade euro and USD JPY. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Get this up here. All right, I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. Let's go for 725. 725,825. Let's do something like this. All right. To me, that completely covers us because we're covering Asian high. We're also covering the previous daily high. All right. So we can probably keep stops quite tight. So we'll have a 20 pip stop. And as it's euro, it's going to move slightly more than Aussie. So something like this. All right, that's what I'm gonna do, and I get that obviously lots of you are going to be looking, yeah, but trend, but one, two, three, one more. But I personally, say it as a higher probability that dollar is going to recover, slightly because there's not a bad outlook coming out, and obviously, if any kind of escalation happens, then that's only going to add to the fuel of the US dollar. So, oh, just move this one up slightly. There we go. TP1 probably go somewhere like here. So that'll be one thing that I'll be looking at here. That's GBP USD here, right? GBP USD trade opportunity. There we go. So looking for a pumper. Oh, sorry, not GBP USD. I'll put GBP USD, edit Euro USD. There we go. Oh God. Anyway, right. USD JPY is the other tricky one. So what have we got here? That's our previous daily low here. Asia's been pretty quiet. I'm gonna plan for the daily. I don't actually like it. Price is being squeezed here. All right. What do I mean by being squeezed? Price is being squeezed, something like this. All right. And obviously, when price gets squeezed, it's a little bit high risk. I'm going to put a trade in, but I'm going to allocate it I'm going to allocate it as a bit more protective, because we've got something like this happening where price, it's a bit like a elastic band. If you tighten it and tighten it and tighten it every time it's trading within, it's tightening, and there's more and more orders in a condensed space, and then when obviously one takes over, it rockets to the upside. So I'm actually going to play this. I will put a trade out, but I'm going to put it a bit safer. All right, because I don't want to be caught on the wrong side of this. So if we do We did 880 and 680. We kept everything a little bit smaller. So if we did something like this, that's quite a good allocation there, I think personally. It'll be 25, 50 because it's going to move. Oh, did that wrong? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's not kind of too much. It's not, it's allowing for us to obviously breach yesterday's, not yesterday's, yeah, yesterday's low. But obviously, enough space for us to peak slightly higher. So that's what I'm looking at. Make sure you get your questions ready if you have any, because I'm going to obviously log off pretty quick. So I've got to get changed and stuff and do the school run. The joys of a school run, hey? Right. They haven't got long actually. They've only got a few more days at school. My eldest one, she broke up. She broke up last week, beginning of last week, and so she's already bored. Um, and my your youngest one is actually, it's quite a big time for her at the moment. She's moving from primary school up to secondary school. So yeah, but obviously it'll be a lot easier to to have them both at the same school. Right, so that's what I'm going to look for USDJ price. Slightly on the air, on the, on the more protective side. Right. Okay. Right. I'm going to have a look through some of these questions. Morning, Alex. Do you think GBP is strong at the moment? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't do. Um, I do. But it isn't strong. If we zoom out and always don't be afraid to kind of, zoom out here, right? Because if you look at it, it's still technically higher time frame. It's in a downtrend, all right? But it's holding up well. I would say it's holding up well on a daily. Yesterday was a massive day. I don't think it's got that much oomph in it, but even on a weekly, you'd class this as a pullback, into an area, even if we put a Fibonacci on it, you know. Weekly would be interesting to see actually. What does it look like on the strength index? Yep, still got space there. Still got space there. So I think for us to classify pound as being strong, it needs to break through this. All right, then we can say that it's taken over, but it's definitely a bit stronger. Um, I don't know how, because it's an absolute mess here. Absolute mess. We had horrible stories. So down the road from us, literally probably 5 minutes drive, there was a man. He killed his wife and his two children. His children 14 years old and 5 years old, and he was in a 1.3 million pound house with a pool. So normal guy, owned an IT company, but just horrible stories that are coming out. So yeah. UK's changed. Hype for gold copy had 70K on a Monday. Yeah, it was crazy. TP1 hit, roll on the holidays. I haven't seen that actually. Oh, yes. 2 out of 2 so far. Let's go. Do you know why NZD is going strong? Okay, last one, this one. NZD. I don't really look into it much because I don't trade it much, but. I mean, very NZD is very, very similar to Australia. Trades a lot with China. It's kind of linked in with gold. It's linked in with Aussie. It's not really a commodity-based asset, but it kind of is. So yeah, it's yeah, it's. I mean, NZD is always, slow, and that's why I've never really bothered to trade it. I think your average day is probably going to be like, yeah, about 50 pips from top to bottom. Like, why would you want to look at that when, you can obviously double it by trading obviously euro or GBP? Because yeah, it's just not, yeah, you've got to get it exactly right. It's like a lot of people trade Euro GBP, which has an average daily range of about 30. Now you've got to get that spot on, powerfully right. Whereas, pound, euro, yen, you can get those against the dollar kind of half right, or even catch them halfway, and you're still going to make more, So, yeah, that's why stay away from obviously NZD pad, um, so yeah. Right, I'm going to end it here. I hope everyone has a great day. It's a beautiful day here. The sun's out, a little bit of wind. So yeah. Oh, weatherman down here. Right. Have a good one, guys. And yeah, let's smash it. Have a good one.